People like you guys often do the golf clap. Yeah. What? He is gang. You know, so today we want to keep it gangster. I'm sorry. As I said, we don't mean that like that. So, anybody we call up on stage, we want you to applaud properly. And this man in particular is very dear to us here at Silverbird. So I want you to put your hands together and welcome him with a thunderous round of applause. Our chairman of the group, Mr. Ben Murray Bruce, ladies and gentlemen. A dreamer of note.
Mr. President, you have done something really profound. The other day in Europe, the Vice President said, you wish to be referred to as Mr. President. You did not want long titles. When I was in government, the first 30 minutes of every event was for introductions, and then we got into business. So I thank you so very much for taking us into the 21st century. Please give a big round of applause to President Goodluck Jonathan. Mr. President, welcome. The representative of the Lagos State Governor, honorable ministers here today, CBN Governor, friends, family, journalists, all those who have taken the time to celebrate 30th anniversary with us today. I cannot begin without thanking my late father, William, who passed away 14 years ago. My mother, Margaret, who is 84 years old and looking younger. My brothers and sisters, directors, Francis, my big brother Francis, and Michael, and Roy, and Guy, and Mrs. Hammond, and Victor Hammond, and all members of my family, my wife and children. I thank you for putting up with me over the years, for this difficult journey that I found myself in. As I looked at the tape and I looked at my life, I realized my life in Silverbird is the life of Nigeria. I was born just before independence. I could not remember what independence was like because I was 4 years old. All I remember was people waving the green and white flag. Is there a flag here today? The green and white flag, that's all I remember. And as I grew up as a child, I grew up in Lagos. There was a lot of problems in the land. Problems I did not understand, I was so young. All I remembered was Akintola and Awolowo. The names kept coming up, and they were fighting all the time. And there was a lot of bloodshed in the West during the elections. I remember those two names as I grew up as a child. And time went by, and one day, the Civil War broke out. And the names I remembered was Gawan and Ojukwu. It seems like Nigeria's always had pairs, either Awolowo, Akintola, or Gawan and Ojukwu. The next thing, the war was on. One day I was at home, and I was told that the Biafran forces had advanced to Ore. And everybody panicked in Lagos. I was very young, less than 12. And people started explaining to me that if Biafra advanced beyond Ore, they could take Lagos, and the Biafran forces would have won the war. I did not understand how a small ragtag army could defeat the military might of Nigeria. Luckily, federal forces advanced, took Ore, took back the Midwest, took Enugu. In January 12, 1970, the war was over. I kept growing and developing. But those early years made me understand Nigeria, the North, the South, the East, the West, the difficulties that we found ourselves in. As I grew up, went into school, hung out with older people, nobody my age, I wanted to learn about my country. And I felt the only way to learn about my country